Welcome to the Daily Thunder podcast. I am your host, Brandon Rahbar, beat writer for dailythunder.com, and I'm joined, as always, by Ryan Woods, contributor to dailythunder.com. And we've been going over these scrimmages, these rapid reactions. This is the final one, but fear not, we're going to do these for the seeding games and the playoff games as well. I haven't really discussed this with Ryan yet. Are you in?
I'm more than in.
Okay, there we go. So it looks like we're going to continue. That was just like the meeting. You heard it live. You're kind of under pressure, though. You're going to look like a real jerk if you said no.
Totally, yeah. I don't think so. I'm out.
That's my strategy. If I was still single, that would be like my strategy. If I wanted to ask a girl out, I'd just get her on a podcast. I'd be like, so.
Here's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so let's get to this game. Man, I don't even know where to start. Honestly, there's like 6 players of the game. Everybody went off. But to me, the standout was probably Darius Bazley. So let's begin with Bazley. Just your overall thoughts. I mean, he scored 20 points. He hit 3 threes, and he had some nice drives to the rim. Fluky, or do you think he's improved over the hiatus?
His shot definitely looks a lot better. He's still finding his way when he takes the ball to the basket, but he's trying a lot of stuff, which I love, and I love that Donovan's giving them the leash to just go out and try things. And he's definitely more polished, going to the basket and finding others. And he's finished really well around the rim as well, which I think is really encouraging, especially if he's going to start playing more 4 and 5 maybe. But man, the three-pointer looks. I was trying to think of a player that his shot reminded me of. It's very set, but it looks very good and a lot better than it did early in the season, which seems to be a theme on these things, where the shooting stroke of a lot of these guys just looks a lot better.
It really does, and it's the biggest thing that you could have asked for. I mean, really, if you're asking a dream scenario for the Thunder coming out of the hiatus and shutdown, it would be that, oh, I don't know, let's just get crazy and wish that Andre Robertson would come back and play. Okay,
Yeah.
Which granted. Let's get even crazier and say he looks really good and he has an improved shot. Okay, granted. Then you would wish that those young guys, Dort, Bazley, that they would come back with an improved three-point shot, because these guys are rotation guys, and the one knock on them has been their shooting. And, so far so good. Through 3 scrimmages, Dort and Bazley from beyond the line have been great. I mean, honestly, they both hit 3 threes tonight. They both hit 2 threes the last game. So it's exciting. These 2 rookies, people forget – 4 months off, that's an NBA off season. So they're coming into this Disney bubble basically as sophomores. We're continuing the season, but you would hope for a sophomore leap from guys like Bazley and Dort, and I think that might be what we're seeing. You just don't think of it that way because it's still intra-season. But really, do you think that maybe with Dort and Bazley we're seeing a little mini leap here?
Sure, it is a full off season. It's a full 4 months to just look inward and what do I need to do to improve. And I would be curious to know how much communication they had with the coaching staff in the way of like almost an exit interview. Like, here's what we want to see coming back. If and when we do restart, and it just seems like they hit all of the details, all of the fine-tuning that they needed to do to come into what would be their second season. It just happens to be the restart and the playoffs.
It's exciting because obviously the Thunder aren't going to hit 23s a game. That's not going to happen. And this hot shooting, it can, but maybe it's a sign of things to come. If guys like Dort and Bazley did improve their 3-point shooting, all of a sudden they go from guys who, you can play but you're a little afraid when they're out there. You're not sure what they're going to bring exactly. If you have a reliable 3-point shot, that's a game changer in today's NBA. And it lets Donovan be a lot more flexible with so many different lineups and so many different things he can do. Especially these guys have position flex, which is, what you want in the NBA today. So it's exciting to see. We could talk a lot about Dort and Bazley, but this is supposed to be rapid, so I guess we should move on. I'm just pumped about those two guys because
Totally.
that's who you'd most want to see improvement from, and we're seeing it. The other guy we're seeing improvement from is a second-year guy, but Shea, the future cornerstone of the franchise, the building block of the franchise. Tonight he started at point guard because Chris Paul was resting and Dennis Schroeder still came off the bench. So we saw a starting lineup of Shea, Dort, Robertson, Gallo, and Adams. How do you think that Shea did as a playmaker and a point guard? Because, there's been a lot of question about that. Is he a 1 or a 2? He's played 1 in the past and he's known as that. But a lot of Thunder fans or, analysts have wondered, well, is he really more of a natural 2? What did you think?
Shea looked like Shea to me in that regard. I didn't see anything that blew me away. I think one thing that will be an unintended consequence of this year with Chris Paul is that it'll just take another year for him to develop as the lead ball handler, if that's the route that Oklahoma City wants to go, which obviously it seems like they do. But he obviously created for himself very well. He was getting in the lane and finding Adams, and that's obviously the connection you want to establish the most is he and Adams up high, screen and roll. But yeah, I thought he was really good. The step back threes, they are so useful. They are such a weapon for him, and if that becomes a consistent thing, they look Harden-esque. They look Steph-esque, and that's the kind of shot you want him to develop.
I'll be honest. I've been a little jealous of like Harden and Curry and these step back threes and how dangerous they can be, wanting a guy like that on the Thunder. And Paul George provided that a little bit. He was working on that, but now having Shea in his second year, and it's something we've seen throughout the season, and especially more as the season went on. And it looks like now, he was 2 for 2 tonight on step back threes. And that second one he did, after he did the step back, he was a good 3 or 4 feet behind the line.
It was deep. Yeah.
And both of them were nothing but net. It looks good. That is such a weapon.
I love that he's not forcing it. It's when he's drawing the switch and he knows that the defender is going to give him space. It's just a simple step back and he's got the space he needs. Really, really good stuff from Shea today.
Shea only played 1 half and he had 10 points and 7 assists. And I feel like that 7 assists could have easily been 10 assists. I think it was very obvious that he was trying to get guys involved. And I think he did a good job finding guys and whipping around some cross-court passes. So good stuff from Thunder U 2.0 tonight between Shea, Bazley, and Dort. And we got to mention Diallo. Diallo is a guy that other Thunder fans, experts, analysts have kind of written off. He had a strong start to the season, then he got hurt, and then he was just never the same when he got back. But tonight, and really at the second half of that 76ers scrimmage, I got to be honest, he looked good. Like, I don't know what to do with him because I don't think that you can get him rotation minutes when it's meaningful minutes. Maybe he will. I don't know what Donovan's going to do, but I don't trust his outside shot, but he was aggressive. He finished really well, and he scored a lot, and he did hit a 3 tonight. We at least got to give him some props. It was probably his best game overall as a pro. So I don't know what to do with it, but I'm throwing out Diallo's great game to you.
Yeah, he did play a lot better today, and I thought he defended really well. I think I don't see a matchup in the playoffs where he automatically gets minutes. I just think he's behind too many guys in the rotation.
Right.
But if there is a team that Diallo is rooting for to play, it's Houston, because I think there are minutes if a guy goes down that small ball lineups he could play the 4. he just looks bigger to me. He looks huge, and maybe it was the guys he was in with at the time, but he looks like he can overpower guys with his strength, with his speed. And so, yeah, I could see him maybe getting minutes if somebody goes down in front of him in a Houston series because of how small they play. But yeah, he was really good today, really aggressive, and used his speed to get where he wanted to go.
To me, there's guys that are, maybe third string guys who wouldn't normally be in the rotation that have looked good. And to me, it's at least encouraging from this standpoint. If, God forbid, one of the guys goes down with injury or with COVID, or, the bubble is unpredictable. This whole thing is unpredictable. And maybe you have to reach deeper into the bench than you normally would. If you do have to play a Diallo or a Muscala or a Nader, they've shown flashes. It could be worse, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, to have those guys as third string guys is kind of a luxury. And I want to talk about Muscala because I've been
Yeah.
saying all year long, I feel like he needs to get minutes. He's a 5 who can hit threes, and he was great tonight. And he's shown flashes. I mean, he's about a 38% 3-point shooter normally. And when you have him as a 5 and he's decent on the boards and he's decent defensively, to me, I would like to see him as tell me this is crazy. If it was me, my backup, let's say that Dort continues to start, I'd love to see like Schroeder, Robertson, Baisley, Muscala, and Noel. That is the biggest, longest lineup imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it'll happen, but I think that's our 5 best bench players, and I think it could actually work. I just want to get those guys times. I think Muscala's too good to leave off the bench.
I definitely think Muscala is playing. Like, depending on the matchup, I think there are going to be instances where he makes more sense than Nerlens. I loved John Hamm's tweet today. Seems Muscala brought a flamethrower to Orlando. He does look a lot more confident, and the guys are finding him. The steal, he had a tip steal and then filled the left wing, and they found him in the corner. That was that's where he's at his best. I think he's a really good shooter on the move, and even like curling around screens, like he has that footwork and shooting ability. So I don't think they'll play him at the 4 at all next to Nerlens, but who knows? We're playing basketball in the middle of July, so I would say anything could happen.
It's just tough because Adams obviously is around a top 10-ish center in the league. He's going to get his 36 minutes. And then Noel may be the best backup center in the league. So, you got to get him any minutes he's going to play is already less than he probably should be playing anyways due to his talent level. Then you got Muscala. So I don't know where to fit in unless you can play him at the 4. I know he's played some 4 in the past, and it's not his natural position. It might be kind of clunky, but I don't know. I just want to find the guy minutes because obviously with what Baisley's doing and the experience they want to get him, I think that he's going to play. Obviously, Schroeder's playing, Noel's playing. That bench shrinks up really fast come playoff time. So it's going to be interesting to see. Last thing I wanted to mention, I think Schroeder had his best game so far in the bubble. I feel like he knocked the rust off tonight. He was driving well, finishing well. The only guys that really haven't really shown out yet so far are arguably the Thunder's 2 best players in Chris Paul and Gallo. I mean, Shea's probably the second best player, but Gallo's right there. But
Dort, but yeah.
Say what?
Well, Dort, but yeah.
Well, that's a given. That's a given. You don't have to mention that. Any concern whatsoever with Gallo and CP3 as we start the seeding games?
Yeah, I thought Gallo looked a lot more himself today. I think he looks like he's still getting his legs underneath him. Just conditioning wise, but the shot looked a lot better today despite some misses. He just looked like he's moving around screens and flaring out a little more naturally, maybe more to what we saw earlier in the year. So I'm not too concerned about Gallinari. I think he's one of the most reliable guys when he's healthy in the entire league. And yeah, I mean, we didn't see Chris today, but we know what to expect from Chris, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not worried about those 2 guys at all. Just felt like we should mention it at least.
Yeah.
It's exciting. The Thunder improved to 3-0 during a scrimmage play. official games start on Saturday against the Jazz. I'm excited to see it. And we will be doing these rapid reactions after every seeding game. So thank you for listening. Ryan, thank you for joining me as always.
Cheers.
This is the Daily Thunder Podcast. Thank you for listening.